done a lot of work for quite a variety of different civil projects in Fiji and Auckland for Auckland Council, private sector consulting, managed a lot of New Zealand civil projects and has been working very closely with a range of mayors up and down New Zealand, including 3 that we met in Taranaki just this week. I think if people look at this announcement today, what they'll see is that the government has crashed through in spite of widespread opposition to their plan. The idea that there's going to be nominal shareholding is a total have. It is the triumph of spin over substance, because when you ask people what will this 1 share per 50,000 people mean for the practical operation of Three Waters, it will mean nothing. The 1 share per 50,000 people is a little bit like a car thief saying you still own it, but we get to decide how it's operated, because in practical terms, a local resident and ratepayer will have no more control or accountability over their Three Waters assets than they had before. You'll still have 3 layers of very remote bureaucracy between you and the actual assets that you used to have, only 1 layer being your local council. In ACT's view, we need to make it very clear that this reform is dead on arrival. The next government will reverse it for the simple reason that it makes no policy sense and it will not deliver better outcomes for New Zealanders. Furthermore, the insertion of co-governance into the management of Three Waters does not deliver better outcomes for New Zealanders. What it does mean is that people end up with seats on the table, people end up with seats at the table based on their ancestry rather than their interest or their expertise. To say otherwise is to imply that people who are born Maori somehow have greater care or greater expertise in New Zealand's water and Three Waters assets, and there simply is no evidential basis for that belief. ACT believes that Three Waters infrastructure has real problems. It does need more funding. That's why we'd share GST on construction with the local consenting council. But make no mistake, we would return the ownership of these assets to the councils on behalf of the ratepayers who have built them up over a long period of time. The government says that they will begin this new policy in July 2024. ACT will be campaigning to make sure they're not in government then, and this policy is reversed. Happy to take any other questions. Also Simon, who has some more technical insights into the management of Three Waters in New Zealand and these reforms.
Do you support the co-governance structure for the regional representative groups?
No, the co-governance structure is unnecessary and unjustified. What it means is that you get a seat at the table based on who your ancestors were. There's no basis for that. It's divisive. It's frankly insulting to say that if you're born a certain way, you have more insight or care about the future of New Zealand. Actually, we're a modern multi-ethnic democracy where everybody has a care and an interest in the future of this country and its infrastructure.
And will you be giving your support to the elements the government says it'll be asking for cross-party support in?
They're saying that privatisation is an issue. It's not an issue, it's a distraction they're using, along with many other distractions that they've brought out to try and muddy the water, ironically, on this issue. Nobody's proposing privatisation. The government would like to debate that. We want to debate how we get affordable and effective Three Water services.
What's the worst thing about Three Waters?
The worst thing about Three Waters is that the way it's done has failed, but even worse than that, what's being proposed will make it worse and create division in the community with less democratic accountability along the way. We need to fund it better, and ACT has a plan to do that, but ACT's plan to fund Three Waters better involves local democracy being retained, it involves one person, one vote, and it acknowledges all New Zealanders have an equal interest in the future of our country, including our critical infrastructure.
Is there anything you like about Three Waters?
Look, I think setting up an agency to check the quality, Tōmata Arawai, has been a positive. I think some of the information sharing around asset health has been a positive. Those are things that should be retained in any system. But the idea that we're going to take the governance of these assets out of the hands of local councils and then say, oh, you get a share for every 50,000 ratepayers but no real control is frankly insulting. It won't work, and it won't be politically sustainable either. It will be reversed.
Thanks.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't realise you guys. Sorry, all right. Well, look, that's very helpful. Any other questions on any other issues of the day? Anything from the Herald? Anyone else? No. Anything you'd add, Simon?
Look, the government's had to delay this. Sorry, guys. The government's had to delay this Three Waters rollout a number of times. They've spent millions of dollars on a propaganda ad campaign. They've tried bribing local councils to accept Three Waters, and yet here we are still with big councils like Auckland and smaller councils like Kaipara saying it won't work for them. And that's why ACT says we would reverse it.
All right. Hey, well, thanks, folks. It's nice and easy. Appreciate you coming along. And what a pity about TV1. And we're happy to pack down and go downstairs if that's helpful.
Is that okay if we stay here just for continuity?
Oh, look, yeah, if you'd like to. We just have to kindly ask the others. We're doing a bit of info for these new sub guys.